If you are planning to sell your crypto based on the 4-year halving cycle, you are making a catastrophic mistake that could cost you this entire bull run. Here's the twist. For the first time in Bitcoin's history, the halving and the market's real engine have completely decoupled. While everyone else is watching a calendar, the institutions are watching the money flow. And they're getting ready.
And by the end of this explainer, I'm going to give you the exact metric that smart money is using to time this market so you can see what they see. Okay, let's dive into this.
All right, first things first, we have to tear down the market's most dangerous myth. The whole idea that Bitcoin's price is driven by a simple 4-year supply event. It's a coincidence, a correlation, not the cause. And right now, believing in it is a total trap. Let's just break this down side by side. The old retail myth, the one you hear everywhere, says it's all about a supply shock, a predictable 4-year clock, and right now that clock is telling you it's time to sell. But the institutional reality, it's not about supply at all. It's about demand, driven by the global money supply. It follows central banks, not some pre-programmed calendar. And you know what it's signaling? That the real cycle is just getting started.
Look, you don't have to take my word for it. Let's look at the hard data. We're going to rewind the tape on every major crypto bull run, and I'll show you that it was always global liquidity, not the halving, that lit the fuse.
Think about it. Back in 2013, the rally from $10 to over 1,000 kicked off right when the Fed fired up QE3. Then in 2017, the run to $20,000, that wasn't just the US, that was the European Central Bank and the Bank of Japan flooding the world with cash. And of course, 2020, the epic run to 69K happened in perfect lockstep with the biggest money-printing bonanza in human history. Every single time, the fuel was liquidity. And just look at the sheer scale of this stuff. It's mind-boggling. We went from a $1 trillion injection fueling the 2013 cycle to $2 trillion for 2017, and then a jaw-dropping $5 trillion in 2020. This is not a coincidence, folks. This is cause and effect. The halving just happened to be along for the ride. So, if the big money, the institutions, aren't using the same old retail charts, what are they watching? Well, they track one specific piece of macro data, and we're about to pull back the curtain on their #1 indicator for this entire cycle. It's called the Global Manufacturing PMI. Now, that sounds kind of complicated, but all it really is a health check on the global economy. When factories are busy and managers are buying more stuff, it means the economy is heating up. Companies are borrowing and money is flowing freely. For a risk-on asset like Bitcoin, something that pops when investors are feeling bold, this is the ultimate green light. And here's the playbook. It's actually super simple. When the PMI crosses above 50, that's it. The bottom is in for Bitcoin. The economy is no longer shrinking. Then, when it breaks past 55, that's when the parabolic run really begins, as liquidity accelerates. And if we see it push past 60, that's when the system is flush with cash, and you get that crazy altcoin supercycle. It's a clear, data-driven roadmap. So, this all brings us to today and explains why this cycle has felt so weird. For the first time ever, the halving cycle and the liquidity cycle went completely out of sync, and that's what created all the frustrating, choppy price action we've been stuck in. For the last year and a half, we've been in this massive tug-of-war. The halving happened back in April 2024, and the old model screamed, "Go!" But at the very same time the Fed was doing quantitative tightening, they were actively sucking money out of the system. The real engine was slammed in reverse. But here's the crucial update. That conflict, it's over. Those restrictive policies are ending, and the whole global financial system is now shifting back toward a loosening cycle. The foot is coming off the brake. And if you remember only one thing from this entire explainer, make it this. Bitcoin has never, not once, entered a bear market when global liquidity was expanding. So what does that mean? It means we aren't at the end of the cycle like the old halving myth says. We are at the very beginning of the cycle that truly matters. So all of this leaves every single person watching with a choice, a really simple one. Are you going to follow the old, broken retail model? Or are you going to start using the data-driven playbook that the institutions use? I mean, here it is laid out plain as day. The retail playbook is looking at the 4-year cycle. Its signal right now is basically sell, and it's all driven by fear and what happened in the past. The institutional playbook, it's watching the global liquidity cycle. The signal is buy, calling this an accumulation phase. and it's driven by hard macro data and where the capital is actually flowing. So let me just say it one more time so it's perfectly clear. The Fourier's cycle isn't broken. It was never the real cycle to begin with. It was just a ghost, a shadow of the true driver. And with that real engine, the liquidity engine, just starting to rev up, the real bull run hasn't even begun. If you want to keep getting this kind of insider analysis to stay ahead of the market, do us a huge favor. Like this, share it, and of course, subscribe to Crypto Global News. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't miss these crucial updates. At the end of the day, the smartest money in the world isn't betting on a calendar. They are following the liquidity. The only question left is, are you?
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.